All right, so we're just going to start off with some nice rolling through the spine. So we're going to think about standing on our feet, hip width apart. We're going to think about nice flat foot. You want to feel the ball of the foot. You want to feel the heels of the feet. You want to feel yourself lifting gently through the arches. You want to actually feel the energy of drawing the arches up. And with that, you should be able to engage a little bit more through your pelvic floor. So as we lift up through the arches and we feel that pelvic floor start to zip upward towards the belly, we're going to start to tuck the tail under as we bring the head forward and the chest. And we want to keep that tail gently tucking under to scoop that belly as we just come about halfway down and just let the arms hang and just let your head relax and keep the belly lifted. Keep that tailbone slightly tucked to the floor so that you have energy there. And take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, begin to pick the belly up, tucking the pelvis even a little deeper as we start to roll back up, and then rolling those shoulders back and down. Let's do that again. So a little pull up through those arches, a little tuck of that tail. Let's scoop that belly, keep that tail tucked, rolling it down. Maybe this time you can find you can go just an inch or two further. And again, we're just going to kind of hang out there for a moment. Feel your tailbone gently dropping towards that floor. Feel that belly lifting up. And on that next exhale, tuck that tail a little deeper and start to pull up through the belly all the way until those shoulders come up and down. So we're going to go ahead and try to take this closer to the floor, your ankles, your feet. So take a nice deep breath in. Pick up those arches, tuck that tail. Let's curl down. Soften those knees, make sure they're not locked. Bringing it down as far as you feel you can. And hold. So once I start feeling this nice stretch through the back of my hamstrings, I'm going to stop. That's going to be my indication to stop. And then from here, inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone as you begin to start your curl up. If you really think of leading with that little tuck of the tailbone, it really initiates those abdominals. So let's do that again. Deep breath in, tuck the tail, exhale, go ahead and curl down. Keep those knees soft. Maybe this time we can go just a little bit further. Pause. Hold here. And as we begin to curl up, start with that little tuck of the pelvis. And I know it's really difficult to do. It's more of the initiation and that feeling of trying to tuck the pelvis that gets you into those abdominals. So we're just going to do one more of this. And tuck that tail and curl down. Pull that belly up. Keep that tail pointed down as far as you can. Keeping that belly lifted. Hold. Deep breath in. Exhale, begin to feel that tuck and that lift. And all the way up. So we're going to take it down to the floor. We're going to hold it there, okay? Nice deep breath in and exhale. Little tuck of that pelvis. Curl down. Bringing those hands all the way to the floor. If you need to bend the knees a little bit, go ahead. Bring the knees all the way through the arms until you come into this. I'm on my toes, knees are bent. I'm going to push through my arms as I lift my chest, and I'm going to straighten my spine as much as I can. And then all I'm going to do from here is as I dive my head down towards the mat, I'm going to put pressure into my hands as I pick my pelvis up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to slowly come back down. I'm going to straighten up through the spine, pull those shoulders down, and then I'm going to send that pelvis right back up to the ceiling. One more time. Come back down. Shoulders back and down. We're in that nice straight spine position. Last one. And pick the pelvis up. And come back down. We're going to lower those knees all the way to the floor. We're going to come into a nice little child's pose position. So you can let those knees open, bring those arms forward, and just stretch. Bringing your forehead down to the floor. And just really think about lengthening your spine, reaching those hands, walking them forward just a couple more inches, really finding that nice stretch. And then from this position, walk your hands over to the left, bringing the right hand on top of the left, and then stretch through that right hip. So pressing that right hip away from you as you reach the arms to the left. And then go ahead and walk yourself back to center. One little stretch to center. And then take those hands over to the right. Left hand comes on top of the right. Stretch through that left hip. And then coming back. And just stretching to the center. And then go ahead and walk yourselves up. And then we are going to lie down. So bring yourself all the way down to the mat. Just a nice comfortable position. And from here, knees are bent, feet are flat. So we're going to start with just some nice positioning of the spine. I want you in neutral. So we want to feel that kind of flattening pressure at the back of our pelvis. And we want to feel it at the shoulders too, but let's help the shoulders out a little bit. So lift those arms up to the ceiling. And then from here, we're just going to flip those palms behind. And we're going to let the fingertips come all the way down to the shoulders. And as we do this, we're then going to let those elbows open. And I want you to feel how nice and open the upper back is when you do this, all right? We're going to bring those elbows back to the ceiling. We're going to unfold those arms. And we're going to do that again. So bring those fingertips down. Open those elbows out. Feel the widening of the back. When you're here, try if you can to keep that rib cage from wanting to arch up. We want to keep that bra strap down and on the mat. Let's just do that one more time. And lift those elbows up. Extend those arms to the ceiling. And bring those hands back down. And then we're going to open those elbows. And from here, we're going to open those arms all the way out to the feet. And we're going to slide those arms up over the head as we exhale. So from here, we're going to think more of rib closure. So as we inhale, we're going to swipe those hands down along the floor all the way down towards our hips on the inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to swipe them all the way back up over the head. And I want you to feel yourself closing the ribs, keeping those rib cage, that rib cage from opening. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. From here, we're going to lift the hands to the ceiling. Try to keep that nice flat back behind you. Bring them all the way down to the hips. Palms up, sweep them up and over the head. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, circle. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Hold. So let's reverse that. So let's inhale, swipe those hands down towards those hips. Inhale, bring them up to the ceiling, taking them all the way behind you, keeping that rib cage closed. Exhale. Did I do that wrong? Yes. This is exhale right here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to hold those arms behind. So from here, and if you have shoulder issues, please feel free to bring those arms kind of down now to the side. Otherwise, we want them just kind of reaching behind you, putting length into the arms, really focusing on keeping the rib cage closed. And from this point, we're just going to do a little footwork. So all I want you to do is bring those feet together, and we're just going to roll up onto our toes, and then we're going to roll the foot down onto the heel as we lift the toes. So we're going into flexion and extension. And down and lift, and lower and lift, right? So toes down, heels lift, heels down, toes lift. Focus here on your breath. Keep that rib cage closed. Let's do 2. And 1. And then from here, our toes are lifted, we're on our heels. I want you to roll through the foot as you bring the toes to the floor. I want you to grab the floor with your toes as you slide the heels towards your toes on the floor. It's like an inchworm. Lift the toes up, roll through that foot again, down, grab the floor with the toes as you slide those heels forward, and lift the toes up. And roll them down, grabbing the floor with the toes as you slide forward. We used to call this short foot. One more time. Down, slide forward. Now we're going to inchworm it back. So from this position, you're going to lift the heels and you're going to try to roll through the foot, lifting the toes at the end. You're going to arch your foot as you dip the toes down to the floor, lift the heels again, and roll it back down to the heel. Lift the toes. Really start to arch that arch as you bring those toes to the floor, lift those heels, and roll it through. And down. Try to keep an eye on your rib cage. Last one. And up, and down, and rest. Good. So both those feet are down. All we're going to do here is we're going to walk our feet out a little bit. So we're going to take the toes out, and then we're going to lift the heels as we sway them out past the toes and out. And your legs are going to kind of open as you inchworm or walk your way out to external. And then we're going to bring it back in. Toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. Let's do that again. Toes out, heels out, toes out, heels out. Last one. And in, last time. And back together. All right, we're going to take it out one more time, and we're going to stay there. And we're just going to do our last one where we're going to curl up to our toes again, and then we're going to bring our heel down as we lift the toes up. Toes down, heels up. Heels down, toes up. Focus on the ribs. Try to keep the back of the ribs on the mat. 2. And 1. And toes down, and we'll bring those feet back together. Parallel position this time. Bring those arms all the way down by your side. And from here, we're going to just do some nice curl ups to the spine. So we're going to tip that pelvis back. We're going to feel that low back press into the mat. And then we're just going to release it back to neutral. Just going to do that one more time. And we're going to tip that pelvis back. Try to lighten the feet. And back to neutral. So let's take it all the way up to our bridge this time. Curl back. Lifting off the pelvis, reach those knees out over those toes, picking that pelvis up, and as you exhale, soften from the top of the spine as you roll it back all the way through to neutral pelvis. Let's do that again. And exhale. Hold at the top to inhale, and exhale, curl down. One more time. And exhale as we curl up. Deep breath in. Exhale as we curl down. And release. We are going to curl up into our bridge and we're going to hold. So curl it up. So this one's a little different, right? I want everyone to bring their hands to the hips, like the sides of the hips. So you're holding, like I'm pressing my pelvis together from the sides, right? I don't want you to feel your hip bone lift up to the ceiling or drop to the floor. All I want you to do is think of your left hip drawing towards the left armpit as you reach the right hip towards your foot. And then you're going to bring it back to neutral. We're going to do that on the other side. So right hip is going to lift as the left hip slides towards the foot. So at no time are you dipping the pelvis. It's staying on the same plane. I just want you to go back and forth. You're shifting. So one knee is kind of reaching over the toes, and then you're bringing it back. And then you're reaching the opposite side and bringing it back. Let's do that a couple more times. If you feel confident, you don't have to hold on to your hips, but it's just a really nice way to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And and reach. One more on the other side, and reach. Come back to neutral. Let's curl down. Exhale. And curl all the way down. All right. So now we're going to do that opposite where we're going to dip the hip from side to side. So find that comfortable position with your feet. Let's curl up. Exhale. Come to your bridge. And now from here, we're going to let that left hip drop towards the floor. And then we're going to pick it back up. And then we're going to do the opposite side. So you're dropping the right hip. As you pick it back up, you're pressing to the opposite leg, right? So you're dropping now the left hip. As I bring that left hip back up, I'm pressing to the right foot. And dip. And press. And dip. And press. Your shoulder blades should stay even on the mat behind you. Dip. And press. And dip. Press. Couple more. And dip. One more time on each side. Hold. Deep breath in. And curl all the way back in. Good. All right. You ready? So we're going to go on to a little bit of single leg. So same kind of thing. When we're on our single leg, we're working that opposing leg, right? So on this particular one, we're going to come up to our bridge. Make sure you have a place where you feel comfortable lifting one of those legs. So I'm going to lift my right. And then from here, I'm going to squeeze my right heel towards my sit bone. And squeeze. And squeeze. Squeeze. And squeeze. Two more. Two. And one. Drop that foot to the floor. Hold. Pick up the other leg. And squeeze that heel towards that sit bone. Squeeze. And squeeze. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Lower that down. Let's curl down. And just shake out those legs really briefly. And we're going to just do a couple more things in external and then we are done. So external position. We're going to lift our toes so that we come to our heels in our external. And then from here, we're going to keep our spine flat and lengthened, and we're just going to pick up that pelvis to the ceiling. We want to pick it up high enough to where you feel your glutes connect. And we're going to pivot on those heels as we bring those knees together. And then we're going to pivot on those heels as we press them apart. And pivot here and out. Close and open. Close and open. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to open those legs, hold the open, and now all you're going to do is you're going to pulse open. So it's open, open, open. So you're never coming to that close. This is all glute med. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. We're going to press the pelvis and pulse it up to the ceiling. And pulse up, 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 up. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And curl down. And straighten those legs all the way out. Shake them out. Patty is up.
Okay. I'm going to roll us up a couple times just to kind of release any tension. So let's reach the arms up and remembering the shoulders and that wideness in the upper back. And then envisioning that there's a string from the top of your fingertips to the crown of your head. And as you start to roll yourself up on an exhale, the hands start to leave, but the head starts to lift, almost like the fingertips are attached to the crown of the head. Reach for those toes. Let's curl, curl, curl forward, reaching for the toes and drop the chest down toward the knees and just stretch. So if you like a big flex to stretch a little deeper, hands don't have to come all the way to the toes, they can go to the shins, but relax here. And then we're going to try to rebuild the spine, but stay in a curled position. So I want you to pull the belly to the spine, curl yourself to where the shoulders come up over the hips, reach the arms forward, but try not to let the shoulders reach with the ears, okay, or toward the ears. And then we're going to rebuild, restack the spine right here, okay? Set the shoulders down. Envision that they're connected to the mat, and we're going to take an inhale to prepare, reaching energy through the fingertips. We're going to roll ourselves down. One of your hairs? No, there's a little spider. Oh no, it's Halloween time. Always bring those arms up overhead. And we'll start again. Fingertips with the string toward the crown of the head like they're attached. Rolling yourself up, almost like you're opposite of bridging, right? Reach the fingertips toward the toes. Collapse over the knees. Get that big release in the spine. Let it go. Just like when we're rolling up in a standing position, we're going to pull the navel to the spine, lift that pelvic floor, and rebuild the spine. We'll go down one more time. Step those shoulders down and back. Roll it down on an exhale. Looking to the toes, bring the arms up overhead. And again, right up to the ceiling with the fingertips reaching. Head is lifting as the hands start to lower. Reach for the toes. Drop the chest, release any tension. And now draw the navel in. Curl, curl, curl. And then lengthen at the top. Okay. We're going to bend the knees in and place the hands right behind the knees. Okay. Sit up nice and tall like you're laying. Your spine is laying down on that mat. So you're tall. Use the hands if you need to. Take the inhale, sitting bones are pointed to the floor. Now, collapsing in the center of the powerhouse of the obliques. Chin tucked, navel keeps pulling to the spine, lifting the pelvic floor, staying in that nice curl. Make sure the shoulders are back and roll it down. And we'll pause right there. So adjust and organize, feet are nice and parallel, in line with the hips. Okay. We're going to take the hands up to the ceiling, remembering that, kind of envision that string that leads from the fingertips to the crown of the head. We're going to take an inhale, feet will stay down. As we exhale, we lift chin to chest, reach for the toes, okay? Keep that belly nice and tight, the ribs are pulling back, and roll it down. And exhale. Shoulder blades should stay, tip of the shoulder blades should stay down on the mat. Roll it down or close to the mat. And then chin to chest, stay light in your head. Tuck a little deeper if you feel your neck. And roll it down. We're going to go for 3 of those. So exhale, looking through the thighs. Reach for those toes. And roll it down. And here's 2. I'm going to try to count quick today. And if you need that support of the head because you feel necky, use one hand and support the head. Here's your last one because we're going to stay. So we did our 6 and hold it here. So thinking of that hip shifting when we were bridging, let's think of the shoulder blades doing that. I forgot to tell you. Okay, ready? So now we're sliding the shoulder blades like they're parallel to the floor, reaching toward the left, tightening that left side. And then coming center, reach for the toes with the right side, pulling that right hip up to the rib cage and come center. And remember, support the head. So we're moving on a parallel platform or sliding across a flat surface with the shoulder blade. And come back center one more time to the right. And hold it here, roll it down, and rest. Okay, I forgot about that. And it tied into the hip shift. Yeah. Kind of cool. Okay, so we're going to stay up again. Again, remember, you can use your hand to support your head. Just use one if you can. Take that inhale. Exhale. Reach for the toes. Lighten that head. Try to release the neck. Pull the ribs down and we'll pull. Pull the ribs back as you reach for the toes. And 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it here. Lift a little higher. Rotate the palms up. Sweep them out to the side. Support your head. And let your head rest, okay? So we're going to bring our knees up to a tabletop. We'll hold, bring the knees together, toes together. Reach through the toes away, and they can go higher or lower, depending on your low back. As you extend, flatten out that low belly, pull it down. Inhale, spine should not be moving, and head is resting. Hands are a hammock for the head. And 5. And exhale, 4. And here is 3. Belly is tight. Support your spine. 2. Rest that head. Last one, hold it here. Lower the head down. As we lift, we're drawing the knees in toward the forehead and lower down, extend. And exhale, lift that tailbone up. And inhale, reach through the chest. And exhale, curl. And get that release in the spine. We'll go for 4. Don't pull on the head. And 3. So you're like a curled up little ball. 2. And last one. Extend the legs out. Bring them to tabletop. Chest is down. Set one foot down. Set the other down. Let's bring the hands beside us. Palms can go up or down. We're going to drop our knees side to side just to release any tension. So I'm going to go to the left side. Let my right hip lift. Keep my shoulder blades wide like we've been practicing. And as you exhale, I want you to turn on that top oblique. Lift that pelvic floor and come back to center. So your abs are what's lifting the knees. Okay, think of that. Get that little release and exhale. Tighten the belly, draw the knees center. We'll go one more time to the left. Turn on that top oblique. Lower pelvic floor is tight when you lift those knees, okay? Ribs are pulling together, belly is lifting and pause right here. So again, supporting the head if you need to. We're going to reach those hands up. Feet are going to stay on the floor parallel hip distance. We'll reach one hand through the center of the legs, the opposite hand toward the outside. So I'm starting on my left. And exhale, reaching through those fingertips, pulling the rib cage back. And inhale, roll it down. We'll alternate. Lift. And roll it down. And exhale. Try to think of rolling up. Hands, shoulders, neck is light. Everything is moving kind of together. Reach. And that outside hand, I find if I reach it a little farther toward my toes, I can really turn on or engage that oblique a little bit better. And we'll go for a set of 2 more after this. Okay? So try to just roll up. Stay light in that head and that neck. And here's your last set. Almost trying to keep the neck curled. And roll it down and pause, okay? So hands are still reaching to the ceiling. We're going to roll ourselves up to the left and pause. Bring the legs to tabletop. Okay? And as we roll down, we will extend the legs, okay? So roll it down, find that center, and we'll stay on that same side for 5 more. Belly is tight. And if you're thinking of curling that neck, kind of rounding and tucking that chin, there's 3 and 2. And here's 1. Hold it here. Sweep the hands up, bring the palms to support the head. Stay in that chest lift over to the left. We're on the left anyways. Bring the knees together and hold it here. Lift a little higher and reaching that right shoulder toward left knee. Let's extend the legs, staying in the lift, and bend them back to tabletop. And extend. And let's exhale. Pull that belly tight. Trying to keep those hips stable and level on the floor. Anything that's lifted is the shoulders and that chest. And 3. And 2. And last one. Bring the knees tabletop, roll it down, set 1 foot down at a time, and take a little pause. All right. That was good. I know. What a fun little exercise. All right, so we'll start again on the right. So we'll lift our legs to tabletop, And then we'll sweep the arms. Are we gonna do this? Yeah, okay. We're gonna, no, I don't wanna do that. Repeat that again. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna end up on the right. So we're gonna reach, lift, left hand through center, right to the outside, hold it. Sweep the hands out behind the head, support your head. Bring your knees together, and we're gonna go for 8. Hold the belly deep, lift that left shoulder like it's trying to reach toward the right. Let the head just be resting in the hands, okay? And big exhale. Just gonna try to stay in the and here's 4. Lift a little higher. Lift that shoulder blade, left shoulder blade off the mat. And 2. And last one. Come to tabletop, find your center, chest goes down, feet go down. Ooh, that's good. All right, okay. Hold the knees in toward the chest, lift that tailbone, and really try to draw those knees in. So you release, the tailbone is up, low, spine is curl. And then step the feet down. And we are going to come onto I'm coming to my left side, rolling over. I'm going to press myself up with my top hand always, so I'm not putting any tension on my spine. I'm coming up to my elbow. I know for me, my arms are long, so my elbow doesn't line up exactly with my underneath my shoulder. But we're going to lift up that bottom rib cage, right? So almost like you're shifting that top hip away from the shoulder. We're going to stack the right or top foot in front of that bottom leg. And all we're going to do is lift the hips, pressing them forward, up and forward, and rolling up onto that knee, and then roll it down. Okay, so belly is nice and tight as you lift up, exhale, press the hips forward, inhale, lower. And I want you to envision that your abs or your abdominals are pressing those hips forward and you're squeezing the glutes. So I want primary focus on that bottom oblique, and then secondary, squeeze the glutes to press the hips forward, trying to keep that neck nice and long. And as you lift, crown of the head in line with the tailbone. Let's go for 2. And last one. Lift with that bottom oblique. Here we go. So if side planking isn't your thing, you stay on your knees. We're going to lift up off onto our side plank. Knees will come up off the floor. Feet are a little longer, or legs extended a little longer. And we're going to press our hips up. Lift the hips from the floor using those bottom obliques. And here's 4. And trying almost to arc up the hips higher. And 2. And staying on the knees if this isn't your thing. And last one, extend the arm up to the ceiling, reach through the fingers, lengthen the spine, lift a little higher, and lower it down. Beautiful. We're going to just come up to a mermaid seated position. So the leg that was on top is kind of back behind you. And we're just going to stretch that side out. So grab onto the ankle with that outside hand. Reach the other arm away out to a T. Bring it up and over as you pull the shoulder down. Stretch over, and you can even glance up to the ceiling under that arm if it feels okay. And you can use your hand to draw yourself a little deeper into the stretch. Take one more big breath. And come on. We'll go the other way just one time. So, yeah. We're staying in that same up and over, and that hand that's on the floor, bend the elbow to get a little deeper, and press that top hip down, away, like we're shifting it, right? Like we've done. It seems like it come on up and over. And now we're going to switch sides, okay? So we're going to go for a total of 5, okay, with our knees staying down. And again, if lifting the knees isn't your thing, do the last 5 with the knees down. All right. So bottom hand can support or go to the hip. Mine's going to the hip, or top hand, sorry. Take your inhale. Top leg is stacked in front. Exhale. Squeeze the glutes, lift from that bottom oblique, and lower it down. And exhale. And inhale. So you're trying to draw the pelvic floor up. Squeeze the glutes to press the hips forward. Is this 3 or 2? Not sure. 2 more. And 2 feet.
Oh my gosh, for once I'm not
You are gonna
counting.
monitor me today. And we're going to that side plank if you want to do it. All right, so we're going to take that inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lift up, straighten the legs, long, long spine and neck. Lower down, little bend in the knees. Breathe. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale, lifting from that oblique, the bottom one. Lift the rib cage from the floor. 2. We'll hold it here. Lift the hips a little higher. Extend the arm up to a T. Lengthen that neck. Don't look forward or lean forward. And lower it down. So that top leg that's stacked is going back. The bottom coming forward. And we'll do our little stretch. So my left hand is grabbing my ankle or my shin. I'm reaching up and over as I pull my shoulder blade down. Plants up through underneath that top arm if you want. Oh. And up and over. That hand comes to the floor. We'll go the other way. Set yourself up first and then adjust. So you're in your little curl. Now press the hip away. Reach through the fingertips away from that top hip. Press into the bottom floor. And reach it up and over. And we are going to Cyndie. My turn. All right, we're just going to stay where we're at. Oh.
So we're going to work a little glutes. So we're going to stay in our mermaid. You can do this with the upper body a couple of different ways. You can actually face the floor. For me, I find it more comfortable to kind of place my chest a little forward. Whatever you find is comfortable for you. The back leg or the front leg, the one on the underneath part, should be coming straight out from your hip. So your knee is coming straight out from your hip. And then the back leg is more extended. So you're not quite in that deep mermaid position. We're going to flex the top foot. We're going to push down slightly through the bottom leg. So we're going to have an anchor point to the floor, which is our bottom leg. And we're going to exhale. We're going to pick up this top leg just as high as you feel you can until you feel that nice connection here on that outer thigh. We're going to lower it down and tap. And exhale and lift. So try if you can not to lead this with the ankles. What I see a lot of the times is people picking up their ankle, right? I want you to pick up from the outer thigh. Pull that belly in and really stay lifted out of the arm that is on the floor with most of the weight in it. For me is my right arm, since I'm on my right side. And let's do 4. And 3, 2, and 1. We're holding this last one. Your foot is flexed. We're just going to press that foot behind you until you feel the glute. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, press it back. And back. And back. This is 4. We have 4 more. Hold that belly in. Don't let yourself go into an arch. 3, 2, hold it back as far as you can. Let that leg extend from the knee. Pointing the foot, flex again as you pull it back, and point and extend. Flex and bend. And 3 more times. 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg all the way out. Arm comes up overhead. As you come back, oh, I'm always going to do this backwards.
I know, it's okay.
You're going to bring the hand forward as you reach forward, and you're going to take that arm up over the head as you reach that leg behind, really stretching all the way through that top side. And lean back slightly as you bring the foot forward. And lean forward slightly with that upper body as you take it behind. And forward. Let's do 2. And 1, we're going to change this. So now as you bring that foot forward, you're going to turn and you're going to lift the hand to the toe and bring it back. And lift. And lift. Let's do 3 more. 2. Let's hold this last one. I'm gonna go off my mat.
Me
But you're gonna turn to your glutes, and you're gonna come up to your teaser. And we're gonna slowly lower down. All right, let's switch sides. Let's come back to our mermaid. All right, so we're in our mermaid position. To start, go ahead and bring yourself down to the floor where you're comfortable. Then we can position. So knee on the floor is going to come directly out from my hip. So now this back leg is a little further extended, right? So I'm not crunched up, I'm extended out. So I have this nice extension of the front of my hip. So from here, flex the top foot. We're lifting from the thigh and lift. And lift. Keep that belly pulled up. Keep yourself lifted out of the arm that's on the floor. And up. And up. Let's do 4, 3, 2. We're holding on this last one. 1, lift it up as high as you can. Now slide it back and forward. Keep that foot flexed. Pull that belly in as that leg goes back, so no arching, right? 3 more. And 3, 2. Hold it back there. Point the foot, extend from the knee. Flex and pull in. Point, extend, flex, pull in. Try to keep the leg behind you and try to keep it lifted as high as you can. 2 more. Last one, extend it long, arm up over the head. So as the foot comes forward on that point, arm comes up. As the foot comes behind, you lean forward, reaching that leg behind you. And 3, 2, 1, pull it back. We're lifting to the ceiling. 1, up to 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are holding. Hold. Turn onto those glutes. Lift and teaser.
Oh. I'm coming out.
And down.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
All right. We got through our glutes.
Okay.
That is up.
All right, I'm not sure how much we're gonna
Yeah, we don't have a lot of time left.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys come down, just kneeling, just a second, okay? I don't want you to get on your knees too much, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna walk my hands just a little farther from my shoulders. My toes are tucked under. Everything is parallel. Pull the belly up, and let's lift up to our plank. So when my hands are a little forward of my shoulders, as I lift up, they come up over, shoulders come up over the wrist. A little rounding into the elbows. We're going to press the hips up to the ceiling, push the heels down. Biceps are right beside those ears. Push into the floor and really lengthen, almost like you're arching, but you're not. Tailbone is energy through the tailbone up to the ceiling almost. And then shift back into that plank. Okay, we're going to go 2 more like that. So as you hike the hips up, you're this upside down or pyramid shape. You're pushing into the hands, pressing the heels down, trying to lengthen the spine, belly is tight, shift back. And last one, hold it here, hold it, try to get those heels to the floor. I'm going to have you almost like a prance. Let's lift up the heels first, tailbone to the ceiling. We'll bend one knee, press the opposite hip down, or heel down, sorry, and opposite knee. Ooh, this is too much crack. We needed this. So your belly is tight, and you're using that press into the hands almost to push that heel down. And let's go for 2. And last one, I'm even, make yourself even, lift up high into those toes, shift to your plank, drop the knees, sit back to a child's pose. Reach the arms long, tuck the chin, forehead to the floor. Pull into those hams to really get that stretch under the arms, the side, your lats. And we're going to roll up. So you're going to start with the tailbone. Try to point the tailbone down to the floor, pulling up that lowest part of the belly. And then the ribs pull back. And the chest presses on the floor.
I did it wrong.
Oops. What did you do? There you go.
All the way up.
Did you go opposite? All right. So we're going to start from the top, crown of the head. Tuck the chin. Push from the floor, rounding the upper back. Start to roll through the spine. Tuck, tuck, tuck the tailbone. And then down to your floor, reach through the hands, pull into the hands. Ready? One more time. Tailbone points to the floor, pelvic floor lifts, ribs pull back, pressing the chest away, and we'll go back down and roll, pulling the belly in. Really good. Push into the hands. Tuck. And come down to your child's pose. We'll stretch to the right. Okay, so let's go right hand to the edge of the right side, left stack, pull that left hip away from that left hand. Really get that side scoop. And your head is dropped. And then come find your center with the spine and the hands and the head. And then walk the left to the left side, right stack on top. Pull that right hip away. Push into the hands. Really try to get that stretch. And then walk yourself back to center. Walk your hands back to your knees. Rebuild the spine. And we are a few minutes. Woo!
Yay.
Okay, so let's get into a mermaid stretch to finish. And hopefully everyone feels good. We did some side line work today, so we need to stretch. So left leg forward, right leg back. Bring that left hand out. Grab the shin with the right. Reach up with that hand over. And release, okay? Just let your body feel heavy. Let the ribs open. Glance up through under that arm if you want to get a little deeper stretch. Come on up and over. We'll go the other one. Up and over. Push into that bottom hand. Bend the elbow and then push that top hip away as you reach through the fingers, the top arm. Come on up. Find the sitting bones and we'll switch sides. We're going to do arms, but we'll have to do those next week. There wasn't enough time. Okay, grabbing the shin or the ankle. Right arm to the side. Reach up. Pull that shoulder blade down. Glance up through underneath that top arm, looking up to the sky. And let those ribs open with every breath. A little bigger. And come on over and we'll go the opposite. Bottom elbow bend. Shift that top hip away. You can push into the bottom hand. Reach through the top. And over. And we'll come just to a seated position, but let's extend the legs long. Okay. So I'm going to have my right knee is going to bend on top of my left knee. Okay. Or a figure four. All right. Sit up nice and tall. Make sure that foot that's crossed is flexed, ankle flexed. And we'll hinge forward over that knee. Now your flexibility, how far you go is dependent on your flexibility. Let the head fall. And then while you're here, try to press that top knee to the floor and get that kind of glute med stretch, right, that we worked today.
Oh, that feels good.
Doesn't it feel good?
Yes.
And you're trying to kind of think, relax every vertebrae in the spine, create space between every vertebrae. And now draw the low belly up, curl yourself up, rebuild the spine, just a little different figure four. Stretch out the legs. And again, the way you drop that top knee is up to you. Just make sure that ankle is flexed, okay? Sit up nice and tall. You can push down into that top knee. Fall forward over the legs. Reach for the toes with one hand as you draw the knee down toward the floor using that other arm or hand. And then relax and breathe. Just breathe. Every breath, you should feel like you get a little deeper into the stretch. Tighten up the low belly, lift it from the floor, pull the ribs back, roll yourself up. And you are done now.
Oh,
Yes,
that was nice.
That was a good stretch, I hope.
I needed
Anyway,
that.
sorry, we didn't get enough time for arms, but we got a little bit.
But there's next week.
There's always next week. So arms next week. Okay, thanks guys. Thanks for joining us on the